Supply is your locally owned and operated CarQuest store in downtown Nebraska. They have a large selection of parts and accessories to keep your vehicles and equipment running, including new heavy-duty truck parts to keep your truck in great shape for the long haul. Ranchland Auto delivers around O'Neill and to many local communities every day. Their employees are always ready to serve the community with a high level of knowledge backed by years of experience in automotive and equipment industry. Stop by or call Ranchland Auto Supply today and let a friendly part professional help you with all your automotive needs.
Are internet speeds passing you by? Warp Networks Incorporated has a game plan for you. We provide high-speed wireless internet for both personal residences and businesses at competitive rates. Contact our team at 402-302-0436 or at JNS TV and Electronics at 402-336-3642. Warp Networks Incorporated, your locally owned wireless internet provider.
Fall harvest means long hours for you and your equipment. You both need a fuel that can handle the pressure. So use Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster Premium Diesel from Farmer's Pride for more power, better fuel economy, faster starts, and special additives to help reduce downtime. What's more, when you do business with Farmer's Pride, you'll notice a personal touch that goes beyond the expected. Farmer's Pride, in the field, on your farm, in your community.
The Evergreen Assisted Living, located in O'Neill, Nebraska, helps seniors remain as independent as possible. Now with the addition of 12 beautiful independent living apartments with 1 or 2 bedrooms, there are more choices for choosing the Evergreen as your new home. Enjoy the spacious community center, complete with movie theater and activities and game room, or enjoy the breathtaking courtyard. You can count on comfort, courtesy, security, and service at the Evergreen in O'Neill. Contact Dee today.
State Farm agent Susan Wakefield is here to help protect all the moving parts of your life with auto, home, life, and financial services. Susan Wakefield and her team make it simple to bring together what matters to you.
My family has been in this business for a long time, and we've always put the community first.
Our goal when we wake up every morning is how can our communities get to the next level?
Here at the bank, we're very community involved. We definitely like to serve on our committees. Working somewhere that allows me to continue to do that is awesome.
My parents work together in this bank. My grandparents work together in this bank.
Being locally owned, being family owned, it is fun to share that spirit.
The reason I like working for Tri-County Bank is the one-on-one contact with our customers.
People know that they can call any of us here if they really need something on my cell phone at 8 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. That relationship is huge, especially in this day and age. It's just important for me that I could be a part of my family's legacy and keep this bank going, hopefully on to the 5th, 6th, 7th generation.
Local experts in O'Neill on everything from tires and brakes to tune-ups, electrical diagnostics, and most other repairs. We offer the best prices on high-quality parts, and we pride ourselves on excellent customer service. We offer a variety of top brands to suit every customer's needs and budget. The next time an automotive issue comes up, bring it to the experts at Connet Tire Service.
O'Neill Assembly of God, located at 204 North 7th Street in O'Neill, Nebraska, is a close-knit church in the O'Neill community, providing Sunday morning church services every Sunday at 10:45 a.m., along with nursery care for up to 5 years of age. Also, if you are not able to attend Sunday morning services in person, we provide online services which can be found on YouTube, Facebook, and the o'neillag.org website, along with morning connect groups and Sunday school for all ages starting at 9:30 a.m. We also provide Wednesday night Bible study for adults, youth, and kids club, starting at 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. For further information, contact Pastor Mike at 402-336-2272 or at either email provided.
Blush Boutique and Tan is a local storefront and online shop based in O'Neill, Nebraska. Drop by for the latest trendy fashion with every price range, a variety of vibrant colors and sizes. And of course, fashionable Nebraska merchandise, graphic tees, and many different accessories. And don't forget about our 3 VIP high-pressure bronzing beds. We strive to offer the best customer service, high-quality products, and exceptional experience.
Creative Advantages is a business consulting firm that maximizes a business's potential by targeting all areas of business while implementing key business and marketing strategies that will optimize sales production and long-term sales profitability. Creative Advantages' passion is working with other business owners and formulating a personalized business and marketing plan that will heighten the opportunity to achieve your business goals. Visit our website at www.creativeadvantages.org to learn more or contact Abby or Alex at 402-340-9661 and get started.
You are a little glitchy with Wi-Fi?
Consider independent living with access to a theater, game room, walking path inside and out, plus neighbors to enjoy visiting and dining with. The Evergreen Assisted and Independent Living Facility in O'Neill, Nebraska is a beautiful home to enjoy.
No one knows a community better than the people who call it home. O'Neill, Nebraska is a thriving community with emerging economic opportunities, strong leadership, excellent education systems, sound infrastructure, and safe, healthy families. When you have a community as strong as O'Neill, why not work together to make it even stronger? The O'Neill Community Foundation Fund, an affiliate of the Nebraska Community Foundation, awards grants to community projects and manages a variety of funds established by families, individuals, and businesses. We are here to help our community by helping donors do good work for good forever. Whether large or small, your contribution or pledge will have a lasting impact. Your gift can be made to one of our fund's specific purposes, or it can be used to build our community endowment. Investing in the future of O'Neill is easy. Visit our website, o'neillcommunityfoundation.org. When you think of giving, think of your hometown first.
We have high school. As O'Neill hosts NEN, we'd like to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. The Sportscasters Club. Before we send things over to Gary and Grant, let's crack open an ice cold Dr. Pepper with the Dr. Pepper pregame show. Okay, you are on Pepper?
Yep. From Kearney Park in South O'Neill, where we're just a few minutes away from high school softball on 99.9 FM, 1350 AM, The Rock. Also on the internet at kbrx.com and also on Eagle Eye Broadcasting. Welcome to the Dr. Pepper pregame report. Please be joined by one of those Eagle Eye Broadcasting students, Grant DeSotko. Grant, thanks for sitting in.
Yeah, no problem, Gary. Thanks for having me.
As we're getting ready for NEN and O'Neill. NEN, it's a combination of Wisner-Pilger and Pender. So NEN, they are the Vipers, and of course the O'Neill Eagles. The Eagles come in with a record of 1-6, and NEN with a record of 3-5. Of course, our Dr. Pepper pregame brought to you by Adamson's Distributing here in O'Neill. Beautiful night for softball, and a case where this O'Neill team, really a young team, Grant, and that's kind of showed a little bit this year.
Yes, it has.
As the Eagles lost 6 starters from a year ago and also lost 8 overall seniors. NEN, the team the Eagles playing tonight, a little bit of a misleading record. They're just 3-5, but they've lost to the likes of Wahoo, also Wahoo Newman. And this NEN team, they were actually a state tournament team in Class C a year ago. They went 1-2 in that state tournament in Hastings. Well, both teams have finished their pregame warm-ups, and the public address announcer, Pastor John Nelson Jr., he's getting ready to announce the starters for each of these teams. And we'll do likewise with our Frickle Well Service starting lineup and our M&M Lockers forecast after you listen to these messages.
Networks Incorporated has a game plan for you. We provide high-speed wireless internet for both personal residences and businesses at competitive rates. Contact our team at 402-302-0436 or at JNS TV and Electronics at 402-336-3642. Warp Networks Incorporated, your locally owned wireless internet provider.
State Farm agent Susan Wakefield is here to help protect all the moving parts of your life with auto, home, life, and financial services. Susan Wakefield and her team make it simple to bring together what matters to you.
For our Frickle Well Service of Atkinson starting lineups, brought to you by Frickle Well Service in Atkinson, and we'll start with the visitors, the NEN Vipers. The leadoff hitter is the pitcher, Maya Dolliver. More on her as we go along. The second hitter, the catcher, Ali Rutar. 3 hitter is the shortstop, Taylor Schulting. Batting fourth and playing second base, Avery Wagner. The 5 hitter for the Vipers is the right fielder, number 8, Taylor Vandenbrug. Batting sixth and playing first base, Riley Ross. 7 hitters, the left fielder, Zoe Duncan. The 8 hitter is the center fielder, Anna Kruzmark. And batting ninth and playing third base is Maddie Dolliver. Vipers coached by Clay Haymart, Sierra Hesacker, Allison Clausen, and Jason Dolliver. And the Vipers are, as I mentioned earlier, 3-5. Now, Grant DeSotko has the starting lineup for the O'Neill Eagles.
All right, starting lineup for the O'Neill Eagles. Batting first, playing center field, number 27, Loretta Schofield. Batting second, playing left field, number 28, Brooke Reed. Batting third, playing shortstop, number 18, Brooklyn Cahoy. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 30, Autumn Emmy. Batting fifth, designated player, number 13, Danny Rouse. Batting sixth, playing third base, number 4, Grace Drucke. Batting seventh, playing right field, number 5, Emerson Molnaric. Batting eighth and playing catcher, number 25, Harley Kinnison. Batting ninth, playing second, number 12, Aubrey Blackburn. And tonight's starting pitcher for your O'Neill Eagles is number 15, Riley Selby.
Once again, your starting lineup's brought to you by Frickle Well Service in Atkinson. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our M&M Lockers of Bristow softball forecast. Of course, see M&M Lockers and Jim over there in Bristow for all your custom meat processing needs. Mostly clear tonight with low around 56. Winds east-northeast 5 to 10 miles an hour tonight. Tomorrow, mainly sunny, a high around 89. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles an hour. High, by the way, in the Irish capital today was 85 degrees. Also, we'll go ahead while we have time. Once again, I'll remind you that our forecast brought to you by M&M Lockers of Bristow. And let's go ahead and also take a look at our Three River scorecard brought to you by Three River, your telecommunications leader in Lynch. So tonight, in volleyball around the area, Elkhorn Valley and O'Neill at Tilden. That's over on 102.9 FM, KBRX.com with Tyler Holcomb. Wynot and Boyd County at Wynot. Niobrara Verdigris Triangular, that is Niobrara Verdigris, Osmond, and Creighton. Also EPPJ and Burwell, that'll be at Pope John. Plainview Triangular has Plainview, of course, with St. Mary's and Winside. And once again, that is a look at your Three River scorecard brought to you by Three River, your telecommunications leader in Lynch. And we also will go ahead and remind you about our broadcast calendar, a look ahead at the broadcast calendar brought to you by Gutschel, Cole, and Pelster Eye Care. They're located on 10th Street here in O'Neill. See them for all your eye needs. They're open weekdays, also Thursday nights and Saturday mornings. Well, next up on the broadcast calendar, football on Friday night. Tyler Holcomb, Austin Ham, they'll be over at Summerlin High School as the Boyd County Spartans travel to meet Summerlin in 8-man football. That'll be on 102.9 FM and on KBRX.com. I plan to travel to Schuyler for the O'Neill Eagles at Schuyler. That will be on 99.9 FM, 1350 AM The Rock, and also on the internet at KBRX.com. Once again, this look at the broadcast calendar brought to you by Gutschel, Cole, and Pelster Eye Care in O'Neill. Well, the NEN Vipers have been introduced. Those of you watching our Eagle Eye broadcasting feed can clearly see the Vipers have those black pinstripe jerseys on and the black pants with what look to be silver numerals trimmed in white crayon. Is that the way you're seeing it?
That is indeed what I'm seeing.
And the O'Neill Eagles being introduced by Pastor John Nelson Jr., the PA announcer. And the Eagles have the royal blue jerseys on with the black pants and the old school stirrup socks. After the starters are introduced, we'll go ahead and then take a break for to hear from our sponsors, and they'll have the national anthem here at the park, and then we'll be ready for softball. So glad to have you along here on 1350 AM, 99.9 FM, on the internet at KBRX.com, and on Eagle Eye Broadcasting. We will remind our Eagle Eye Broadcast viewers that we'll be calling this as if it were a radio game, obviously.
Yep.
And so at this time, we'll go ahead and take a break back to the studio for some of our sponsors, and then we'll come back with softball.
Young and sweet, only 17.
Are you ready to ignite your passion for the arts right here in North Central Nebraska? Look no further than the North Central Nebraska Arts Council. The NCNAC is dedicated to bringing the magic of fine arts to our communities, from exciting events to captivating performances. But we can't do it alone. Fine arts encourages an atmosphere of creativity, compassion, and diversity of talents. We invite you to join us and build a stronger community. Be sure to check out our social media for more information and news about us. Anyone can become a member of the North Central Nebraska Arts Council and contribute in our mission to share our passion for the fine arts. Your support can make a difference.
You can dance, you can drive, having the time.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Crowd perhaps with the claps, applauding the anthem. And we're just about ready to go. Of course, NEN, the visitors, so we'll see them at the plate first. Be Dolliver, Rutar, and Schulting. If somebody would reach base, Wagner would bat. The O'Neill Eagles, just 1-6 on this young season and a very young team, but they came out with a little bit of momentum as they did get a 5-4 win over Highway 91 at the NEN tournament on Saturday.
Yep, that was a very nice win,
And they, after losing a couple of close ones, a 9-7 game, a 9-5 game earlier in the year, Eagles definitely excited about that victory. As O'Neill, the starters, as they take the field, Druki at third base is a freshman, Cahoy at short is a junior, Blackburn at second, just a freshman. Emmy at first represents some of the experience. She's a senior. The pitcher, Selby, a freshman. The catcher, Kinnison, a freshman. Left fielder, Brooke Reed, is a senior. In center field, Loretta Schofield is a junior. And the right fielder, Emerson Molnaric, she is a sophomore. So mostly underclassmen for this Eagle team. Now, speaking of a team with some new players, NEN sort of in the same boat, although they have a little bit more experience. They did lose a number of players off of last year's squad as well, that team that reached the state tournament. Kinnison's goes through to second base, and we're just about ready to go. Looks like Jason Dolliver will be in the third base box for NEN. The program said James Dolliver, but I'm relatively sure that's Jason Dolliver. Also, the Pender girls basketball coach, they were a state champion this past March. And Maya Dolliver, one of the coach's daughters, gets ready to stand in. Dolliver, right-handed batter. She is the pitcher. Selby ready to deal. The pitch, this one's up high for ball one. 1-0 to Dolliver as Brandon Rystrom is the plate umpire. Gary Davis on the bases, just underway from Kearney Park. Selby, second offering, is down low for a ball. 2-0. And I believe I misspoke earlier. I think I called Selby a freshman. She is a sophomore.
Yep.
She has a younger sister who's a freshman.
Yep.
Selby, the pitch. This one's outside, so not the way she wanted to start here on the leadoff hitter for the Vipers. Maya Dolliver most likely taking in this situation as NEN wants base runners. Selby, the pitch. Through for a called strike one. 3-1 to Dolliver. Have to be careful not to call the Vipers the Lightning. Of course, O'Neill's summer team, they are the NCN Lightning. This one is called strike two, right at the top of the strike zone. Dolliver thought she had seen ball four, but Brandon Rystrom says, no, that one's through. Definitely appeared to catch quite a bit of the plate. I think Dolliver may have thought it was just a bit high. But, of course, the bottom of the armpits to the top of the knees when you take a normal stance. This one's down low for a ball. So Dolliver does draw a walk, and here's Allie Rutar, the catcher. Grant Desadko, a position you played in baseball as a catcher. Is there a spot on the diamond you have never played when you played baseball?
I think I've played every single position.
I figured at one time or another you probably had.
Yeah.
Dolliver definitely a threat to run. Selby the pitch. This one's through for a strike. There goes the runner. Throw through is not in time. Gets away, but recovered by the center fielder Schofield. So Dolliver with a stolen base and an 0-1 count on Allie Rutar, the catcher, with Schulting waiting in the on-deck circle. And this one is swung on, lined into right field. And that's going to be through for a base hit and a run-scoring single. So the Vipers score here early on an RBI single by Rutar. And for O'Neill, I think I mentioned Blackburn Looks like Drucke is playing second. They're going to run for the catcher, and Rouse is at third. So O'Neill shuffled a few things around. We'll have to watch as they come to the plate, but it does, in fact, look like Drucke playing second base and Danny Rouse playing third. That's a little bit of change from the lineup I originally had.
Yep.
So a run-scoring single for Allie Rutar. She's over at, there's a courtesy runner for at first base. I'll have Grant try to get a number there. High and tight for ball one. As that runner trying to force a throw and does, but makes it back safely.
It's like number one.
And that would be Danica Alexander, a senior for the Vipers, running for Rutar, the catcher, as a courtesy runner. 1-0 count on Taylor Schulting. Right-handed batting shortstop, slightly open stance. This pitch is swung on and missed for strike one. 1-1, it evens up. Selby, the sophomore, one thing I noticed in umpiring one of her games this past summer when she was playing for the NCN Lightning is that she has increased her velocity, really worked hard over the years. Has been pitching since she was down in the lower ranks of ASA summer softball. This one's high and pops out of the glove of Kinnison, and down to second base goes Rutar. Most likely to be called a pass ball, although certainly not the easiest of pitches to handle. 2-1 the count to Schulting, with Avery Wagner waiting in the on-deck circle. Beautiful night here for softball from Kearney Park. My phone says 85. It doesn't feel quite that warm. This one's down low for a ball. 3-1 to Schulting. With a runner on second, that is actually Alexander, the courtesy runner. Selby to deal. This one swung on and punched foul on the right side. So a 3-2 count. It runs full on Schulting.
Very big pitch here.
Yes, absolutely. O'Neill looking for an out anywhere in this situation. A run across for the Vipers, and still nobody out here. Top half of inning number one. Outfield straightaway for the right-handed batter. The pitch. This one's outside, back to the screen. That'll be a wild pitch. To third goes Alexander. And over at first with a walk is Taylor Schulting. And now Avery Wagner, the second baseman. That's not a position so much in baseball and softball, maybe associate as a power position, but my guess is that Wagner is there for a good reason.
Yep.
Confident looking hitter as she stands in. The pitch swung on. She's first pitch swinging and fouls it out of play on the right side. She did not get cheated on that swing, that's for sure. 0-1 to Wagner with Taylor Vanderbrug waiting on deck. And a big thanks to some of the Viper players. They helped me out with some pronunciations earlier tonight, and I'm just hoping I can remember all of them. Recognize quite a few of them over the years, including one of the coaches, Clay Haymart. For the Vipers, this one's a change up high for ball one, and down to second goes Schulting. I remember, this is how long I've been around, Grant, when Clay Haymart was a Legion player for Aurora. Those Steve Suazo teams, probably late 90s, early 2000s, I would say, although my memory's kind of faded probably over the years. But a lot of good teams there in Aurora with Legion Baseball. And Clay Haymart's been teaching in the Pender system for quite a while now. This one missed inside for ball two. 2-1 to Avery Wagner with Taylor Vanderbrug waiting on deck. A run across and runners on second, third, still nobody out. Top half inning number one. Selby looks in. The pitch. This one's outside, back to the screen. Here comes the runner. Play at the plate is not going to be in time as Alexander slides in safely on the play. Schulting went to third, and now Wagner up there with a 3-1 count. So a hitter's count upcoming as Brendan Rystrom dusts off home plate. Outfield, mentioned straight away. Monerick perhaps a step or so toward the line in right field. Avery Wagner stands back in. Selby, the pitch. This is through for a called strike two. So again, Selby, a full count that she has to work, as this is the third full count she's seen here in the circle in this top half of inning number one. The pitch swung on, line drive left field. This will drop in for a base hit. Schulting at third base, knowing She had the advantage of waiting, made sure that fell, and then trotted home for the game's third run. And Wagner in with a double. She just kept running as that one we mentioned punched into left center, and by the time Reed got over to field it, Wagner was around first base and heading towards second. Close play, but she was in under the tag. 60-foot bases, 43-foot pitching rubber in fast pitch softball. Here's Vanderbrug, the pitch. This one's up high for a ball. 1-0 to Vanderbrug with Wagner at second base. She looks at the third base coach, Jason Dolliver. Selby, the pitch. Way inside, got away from Kinnison and down to third goes Wagner. So one of those situations, if you're O'Neill, just looking for something good to happen somewhere, taken out anywhere. O'Neill would love to get obviously a strikeout or a pop-up here with a runner on third and 3 runs already crossed her. Top half inning number 1. Glad to have you, KBRX O'Neill. This one is outside for ball 3. 3-0 to Taylor Vanderbrug. She is the right fielder. Selby takes a little time, looks for a sign, slightly open stance for the right-hand batter. The pitch. This one is up high for a ball. So down to first goes Vanderbrug, and that is the third free pass issued by Selby tonight. And here's Riley Ross, the first baseman. Good chance Vanderbrug would run with a runner on third. Sophomore pitcher, freshman catcher for O'Neill. This one is outside for a ball. 1-0. Kinnison, I take that back. Kinnison, a sophomore. Already when I've been away from school, I tend to forget those classes, what grade the kids are in. She is a sophomore as well. Swung on and missed for strike one. Rouse, by the way, at third base, didn't originally see her in the starting lineup. A change by O'Neill, but she's a sophomore. Druke at second is a freshman. This one swung on and missed for strike 2. So 1-2. Selby jumps ahead in the count on Riley Ross, the first baseman. Zoe Duncan, left fielder, waits on deck. The pitch. This one's high and tight for ball 2. 2-2 to Ross. She's the 6th player to come to bat here for NEN in the top half inning number 1, and they've pushed 3 runs across. Selby. The pitch. Just high for ball 3, so yet another full count. The only freshman on O'Neill's roster, Grace Druke, Grace Mitchell, who's not starting, and Jalen Nicholas, who's not starting, but a number of sophomore starters. This one's up high. That'll load him up. So after jumping out in front 1-2, Selby unable to record the out there, and that'll load up the bases for Zoe Duncan and Chuck Price, longtime O'Neill coach, out to talk with his young pitcher Selby. Kinnison, the catcher, joins the conversation. Chuck Price has been with this O'Neill softball program since its inception, and that was back in the fall of 2007. O'Neill actually had a state tournament team that year. And also, as they've advanced the state tournament twice since that time. A couple years ago, Grant, you might remember, O'Neill had a really good season, won the Class B sub-district, defeating Lexington and McCook here in O'Neill, but then in the district final, had to play Omaha Scott in Omaha.
I do remember that now. There was a group of 2 sisters there that played it. They were both commits to Arkansas, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
Both really good softball players.
Yeah, and that Scott team went on to win state. Bases loaded. Converse on the mound is over. This one's punched foul on the right side, or should I say the circle? Really not a mound in softball.
Yeah. Yep.
To so much baseball that just kind of commonly say that. So it's Duncan behind 0-1, left fielder, very open stance for Zoe Duncan. Selby, the pitch. This one's up high for a ball. 1-1 to Zoe Duncan with Anna Kruzmark. One of those names is definitely associated with that area over there where NEN is based. 1-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on, line towards second. Drucke has trouble with it, and a run will score. Now a second will score. Probably be ruled a hit. It was hit up the middle to Drucke's right, and a long run over there. Thought she might be able to make a tough play there. Unable to, and 2 runs score on what will go as an infield single. Here's Kruzmark. 4 still in order, but now 5 runs across for the Vipers in the top half of the first. Selby, pitch is up high for a ball. 1-0 to Kruzmark with Dolliver, the 9-hitter, waiting on deck. Selby, the pitch, just high for ball 2. 2-0 to Kruzmark. Selby has not missed badly, but a telltale sign usually is when the catcher has to raise the mitt like Kinnison is. That's usually a ball. This one swung on and missed. Good fastball there from Selby for strike 1. 2-1 to Kruzmark. Dolliver waits on deck. The younger sister of the leadoff hitter, Maya Dolliver. This one swung on and fouled. I believe it was just swung on and missed. And down to third goes the runners. It popped away from Kinnison, and behind Ross, Duncan took second. Wasn't sure if that was perhaps foul, but umpire said no. It was just swung on and missed, popped out of the glove of Kinnison, and the runners took advantage. So that erases the force. 2-2 count on Kruzmark. The pitch, called strike 3. So big pitch there from Selby to get the strikeout. Kruzmark looking for out number 1, and here's Maddie Dolliver. Dolliver takes a look down at third base. Jason Dolliver played his high school sports at Stanton. This one swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Kinnison, and maybe one of our listeners can help me out. I think it was 1996 when Stanton won the state basketball title. He had a brother on that team as well. This one swung on and missed for strike 2. Yeah, an outstanding team there with the Dolliver brothers. There was a Kennedy on that team as well, but I'm trying to dig into my long-term memory there. 0-2 to Dolliver. This one swung on, popped up. Drucke, the second baseman, calling for it. Cahoy steps in front and takes it, and there's out number 2, but it was far from that simple. I thought, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Grant, I thought I heard Drucke calling for it. Maybe it was Cahoy.
I think I heard Drucke calling that too, and Riley Selby really looks like she's settling on the mound right now.
As she's retired 2 in a row now. Runners on second, third, now 2 outs. Here's Maya Dolliver, leadoff hitter. So the Eagles not out of the woods yet, are in the top of the first. Fastball up high for ball 1. 1-0 to Dolliver, and the Vipers have batted around. Selby. Pitch. This one's inside for ball 2, although that may have had a little movement on it. Looked like I was almost going to crawl back across the inside corner for a moment. 2-0 to Maya Dolliver, who walked and scored earlier in this inning. This one is up high for ball 3. Rutar, the on-deck hitter, singled and scored Dolliver a little while ago. The pitch up high, and Dolliver has drawn her second walk in as many plate appearances, and here's Rutar. Rutar, the catcher, had the shin guards on with 2 outs. She'll have to take those off and then stride to the plate. She singled and scored earlier in this inning, so already a run batted in for her, and also a run scored and a single RBI for her. The pitch, called strike on the corner. 0-1 to Rutar. Selby with the bases loaded, 2 outs. 5 across for the Vipers. Pitch swung on, ground ball. Rouse at third, up with it across to Emmy in time for out number 3. So the Vipers gone on the top of the first, but they do some damage. 5 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 3 runners left on base. After half inning of play, your score, the Indian Vipers 5, the O'Neill Eagles coming to bat. Back to Kearney Park after you listen to these.
For your kids. As an Apple Distinguished School, O'Neill Junior Senior High School stays on the cutting edge of technology so your kids learn more in and out of the classroom. With our organization, Eagle Eye Broadcasting, students get real-world experience in the field of broadcasting with industry-standard equipment. This experience is seen through their live daily announcement shows and the annual Homecoming Lift Up. And with plans to continue to add to and update our facilities, there's no better time to be an Eagle. O'Neill Public Schools. Dream, achieve, believe.
Ranchland Auto Supply is your locally owned and operated CarQuest store in downtown O'Neill, Nebraska. They have a large selection of parts and accessories to keep your vehicle and equipment running. Ranchland Auto delivers around O'Neill's to many local communities every day and offers in-house hydraulic hose production. Our employees are always ready to serve the community with the combined experience of over 100 years in the automotive and heavy equipment industry. Stop by or call Ranchland Auto Supply today and let a friendly parts professional help you with all your automotive needs.
NEN plated 5 in the top half of the inning, so Eagles definitely have their work cut out for them. Alex Miller, the daughter of O'Neill head coach Chuck Price, is in the first base box. And as you might guess, Chuck Price over at third as Maya Dolliver, right-hander, finishes her warm-up tosses. She had that outstanding basketball year during her sophomore campaign, one of the key players on a state championship team for the Pender Pendragons, as this NEN team, though, a co-op between Wisner-Pilger, the Gators, and the Pender Pendragons. At one time, it included several other schools as well, but that, I think, has been a few years ago. Here's Loretta Schofield and Grant DeSacco on the softball field. Loretta Schofield is mostly known for her speed. Speed is correct, yes. And she hits on the left-hand side, a state qualifying sprinter for the St. Mary's Cardinals last spring. Left-handed batting center fielder, Schofield, a junior, as she gets ready to stand in against Maya Dolliver. Vipers have Rutar catching, Maddie Dolliver at third, Schulting at short, Wagner at second, Ross at first, as his first pitch is low for ball one. Duncan in left, Kruzmark in center, Vanderbrug in right, and Maya Dolliver, the right-handed junior, in the circle. The 0-1 to Schofield, showing bunt. It's foul. So it evens up 1-1. Schofield, I talked about this with Haley Schlunz, who broadcast with me a couple weeks ago. Schofield wears number 27, and for the second straight broadcast, my broadcast partner is a Red Sox fan. Now, this is probably a little before your time, Grant, but 27 in Red Sox history, as this one is just high for ball 2. You probably need your dad to help you out with this, and he may not even remember this. 27 to Red Sox fans means Carlton Fisk, the great catcher, who went on to play for the White Sox for a while, and this is outside for ball 3. When he went to the White Sox, they actually had a 27 already on their squad, so he took number 72. Look up the 1975 World Series. Hit a dramatic home run in Game 6 that year. This one swung on a miss for strike 2. Unfortunately for Red Sox fans, they lost to the Reds in Game 7. But Fisk hit a walk-off home run in the 12th inning of that game.
Dang.
So it took a long time to say that he wore number 27.
I think he took a long time to just say that the Twins are better than the Red Sox.
This year, I'd like you to refer to him as the Central Division leading Minnesota Twins, if you would, please.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, it's one of those years I have to brag a little. Hopefully they can hold on. I probably should call them the only 6 games above 500 Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the Red Sox have a better record.
They might. It's all about location in the Central Division. Schofield draws a walk, and here's Brooke Reed. The pitch. Down low for a ball. 5-0 as we're underway here in the bottom of the first. The Vipers have the lead as Brooke Reed looks at ball 1. They got 5 in the top half of inning number 1. Eagles have Schofield at first and nobody out. Brooke Reed takes one down low for ball 2. Cahoy waits on deck, and then Emmy. Should the inning continue? Brooke Reed, left fielder, slightly open stance. And again, like we saw with Selby, Dolliver not missing badly, but that one just off the corner.
Yep.
It looked like, from her look in, looked like she really wanted that one. 3-0 to Brooke Reed. The pitch. This one's inside for ball 4. So a good start to the bottom half of inning number 1 here for the Eagles as Schofield and Reed both walk. And here's Brooklyn Cahoy. Cahoy, a junior, she was the starting shortstop a year ago and actually played quite a bit of varsity late in the season her freshman year. More at third base that campaign. This one's through for a called strike 1 to Brooklyn Cahoy. So definitely one of the veterans on this O'Neill team is Cahoy, the right-handed batting shortstop. She's behind 0-1. Schofield at second, Reed at first. Cahoy shows bunt and puts it down. Catcher, one play, that's to first for the out. Good play by Rutar to Ross to get the out, but credit Cahoy with a sacrifice bunt. It'll go 2-3 on the putout for out number 1. And on the play, Schofield moved to third and Reed to second. And here's Autumn Emmy, the Eagles' best power hitter. Emmy, a walk-off home run a couple years ago in a win over Wayne, right here 10 feet to left field in this park. This one's through for a called strike 1. Emmy had a good game at the plate in O'Neill's season opener against St. Paul. They lost 10-2 to St. Paul, but Emmy was 3 for 3 and drove in a couple runs. The pitch. This one's a called strike 2. Nice pitch there from Dolliver. It caught the outside corner. Eagles with runners on second and third and 1 out. Trailing 5-0, bottom half of inning number 1. The pitch. Tried to check her swing. I think she went around, and she did. So Emmy gone swinging for out number 2. And here's Danny Rouse. So Rouse, the third baseman, gets ready to stand in with runners on second and third, and now 2 outs. So what had the makings of a promising inning, ground ball to short. Up with it is Schulting across to Ross to first in time. And so what looked like it might be a promising inning ultimately ends with nothing across for O'Neill. No runs, no hits. There were no Viper errors and 2 runners left on base. After 1 complete your Pinnacle Bank score, it is NEN 5, O'Neill 0. Back to Kearney Park after you listen to these messages.
Consider independent living with access to a theater, game room, walking path inside and out, plus neighbors to enjoy visiting and dining with. The Evergreen Assisted and Independent Living Facility in O'Neill, Nebraska is a beautiful home to enjoy.
Three, 2, 1, you're live.
Welcome back to Kearney Park as we go to the second. 5-0, NEN leads the O'Neill Lady Eagles. High school softball, glad to have you, KBRX O'Neill, on the internet at kbrx.com and also on Eagle Eye Broadcasting. First pitch swinging, Taylor Schulting fouls it back out of play. She walked and scored back in the first. So no official at bats, but a plate appearance and a run. The pitch. This one is up high for ball 1.
Looks like Grace Druke's at third now.
There, okay, and there's a switch. And now Blackburn has moved to second. Thanks, Grant, for noting that. So we'll set that Eagle defense for you. Selby. It's pitched down low for ball 2. So Druke now at third. Cahoy at short. Blackburn at second. Emmy at first. Reed in left. Schofield in center. Molnaric in right. As this one's up high for a ball, 3-1 the count. And a battery made up of catcher Harley Kinnison and pitcher Riley Selby. 3-1 count. This one's outside for a ball. So a walk issued by Selby to Schulting, and here's Avery Wagner, who doubled and scored back in the first. Wagner, the game's only extra base hit so far. Right-handed batter. She has an even stance. A called strike. There goes the runner. Throw through. Backed up nicely by Blackburn, where Schulting may have taken another base. A steal for Taylor Schulting. Wagner at the plate with an 0-1 count. 5-0 Vipers have the lead. Vanderbrug waits on deck. O'Neill next in action on Thursday at Pierce. This one's just high for a ball as Wagner did a good job of checking her swing there. And next up on Thursday, also the Vipers will be in action in a triangular with Cumming County and Takema Herman. And this one is fouled off for strike 2. 1-2 to Avery Wagner. And Emily Morrow, of course, she is doing all the technical work for Eagle Eye Broadcasting. She's here in the booth with us. Also, big thanks to Brandon Pruden as he is back in the KBRX studio. But Emily, do you have the messages open on Eagle Eye Broadcasting? Well, what I want to know is, as this one's down low, if we have some listeners over there in Wisner-Pilger in that Pender area, when I see Cumming County there, I always think of the Cumming County Fair, and I think of the Dodge County Baseball League. And maybe somebody knows, did they play that league this year, that town team baseball league, as this one's down low? Didn't hear as much about it as down to third goes Schulting. Maybe somebody over there could help me out. Let me know if they did play Dodge County League town team baseball. Long time. That'd been a league for a long time in Nebraska, amateur baseball. This one swung on a miss. Third strike was dropped. They throw to first and get the out, but the run scores on the play. So a strikeout and a 2-3 put out, and the run scores on the play. Out number 1, and that makes it 6-0 in favor of the Vipers. And here comes Taylor Vanderbrug, right fielder. Now, Grant, your dad played some town team baseball in the Cedar County League back in the day.
He did.
I'm an old being the operative word, town team baseball player as well. Played for a Nebraska team, but played in a South Dakota league. This one swung on and missed for strike 1. And that's, sadly, it's been kind of a dying sport around Nebraska over the years. South Dakota and North Dakota and Minnesota, they still have really strong town team association, amateur baseball associations. This one's inside for a ball. 1-1 the count on Vanderbrug with Riley Ross waiting on deck. 6-0 Vipers have the lead. Nobody aboard, 1 out. Here in the top half of inning number 2. Pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. Vanderbrug walked and scored back in the first. She stands back in. Right fielder with a 1-2 count. Selby. The pitch. Took a little bit off, and it stayed high for ball 2. 2-2 the count. Again, glad to have you. 99.9 FM, 1350 AM, KBRX O'Neill. On the internet at kbrx.com, and also on Eagle Eye Broadcasting. Swung on and fouled back to the screen by Vanderbrug. So a good job of her fighting off a pitch from Selby. Ross waits on deck. Outfield remains straight away on this beautiful night for softball. That's a called strike 3. Selby caught the inside corner, and now there are 2 gone. Second consecutive strikeout for Selby, and she has 3 for the game. And here's Riley Ross. About the only thing that's probably not comfortable here at Kearney Park, the mosquitoes that we are well known for here. Some our Eagle Eye broadcast viewers might be able to see Gil Posey Pond just beyond the right field fence across the road.
And then the river just right past it.
The Elkhorn River, yes. And the NEN fans from Wisner will well know about the Elkhorn River. Of course, their park even closer to the Elkhorn River than Kearney Park is. This one's up high for a ball. I keep going back to baseball, but Pender, Wisner-Pilger, those are places you always think of with really good Legion baseball. They've also both hosted state tournaments over the years and been in a lot of state tournaments. 2-0 the count. This one's up high for ball 3. 3-0 to Ross. With Zoe Duncan waiting on deck. The count to Ross. The pitch swung on. They green lighted her, and you can understand why. With a 6-run lead, she fouls it off. So 3-1 the count on Ross. A run across, nobody aboard, 2 outs. We're in the top half of inning number 2. Game scheduled for 7. The pitch swung on and fouled back for strike 2. So Selby a strike away from retiring the side here in the second. We'll pass a little trivia along. Grant, there is an O'Neill High School faculty member who hails from Pender, Nebraska.
I know it already.
You know it?
Is it Cole Hilker?
It is. That is correct. This one's inside for a ball. And this is a co-op between O'Neill and St. Mary's, the O'Neill softball program. St. Mary's, I know, has at least one staff member who is a Wisner-Pilger grad. I don't remember the maiden name, though, is a trouble. Zoe Duncan. And that's going to be a little tougher question. Emily Morrow maybe will help you out over there.
We both have 0 clues.
Erica Winklebauer. This one swung on, lined into right field. Sharp base hit. To second base goes Ross, and Duncan there with her second single of the night. And so NEN trying to rally with 2 outs here in the top of the second. And here's Anna Kruzmark. So after Schulting walked, stole second, and then went to third, and she scored on a drop third strike. Here's the pitch. This one swung on and fouled right back for strike 1. After that, after Wagner struck out, then Vandenberg struck out as well. But since then, Ross walked and went to second when Duncan singled. Kruzmark behind 0-1. She was a strikeout victim back in the first. Selby, the pitch. Through for a called strike 2. Maddie Dolliver waits on deck. 6-0 NEN leads at top half of inning number 2. 0-2 the count. Open stance with the right-handed batting Kruzmark. Selby, pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. So Selby records 3 strikeouts in the top of the second, but the Vipers add to their lead. They get a run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. After an inning and a half of play, your Pinnacle Bank score, it is NEN 6 and O'Neill 0. Back with the bottom half of inning number 2 after you listen to these messages.
Come down to your local Stadium Sports in O'Neill, Nebraska, where you can satisfy all your sporting and clothing needs in just one store. They have a wide variety of many different sporting items and clothing that we know you would love. If you're not sure you like their clothing, they will even let you try it on in this fancy dressing room. They also have a website. You can visit them at stadiumsportso'neill.com. If you want to give them a ring, their phone number is 402-336-2282.
Up to the plate. She's a freshman at O'Neill High School.
A right-handed batter. She pitched the JV game. I guess should have mentioned that NEN won the JV game by a score of 9-3.
And Jerky, the pitch coming, swung on and fouled back. And who's our pitcher?
That is Maya Dolliver.
Maya Dolliver, okay. Druki steps in for the second pitch. 0-1 count, excuse me. The pitch, called strike, painted the outside corner. Druki now down 0-2. Looking to battle back here. A little bit of an open stance. Takes a step back here.
Druki, one of those players that played on that NCN summer team here in O'Neill.
The pitch, swung on, popped up center field. Center fielder runs back and caught.
Yeah, Anna Cruz marked there with a nice play as she had that one measured all the way for out number 1.
Looks like we got up now Emerson Milnerick from St. Mary's. She, I believe, is she a sophomore or junior?
Emerson, I think, is a sophomore. I'll check that too. She is a sophomore.
Sophomore, yep. Another open stance here.
She has a distinction of being the tallest player on the O'Neill squad.
Yeah, she is very tall. Called strike, right down the middle there. Emerson steps in for her second pitch here, a 0-1 count, 1 out. The pitch, swung on, popped up, right in second base, and dropped. Found the gap there in between right and center field.
Yeah, tough play for Wagner going back there on the outfield grass. We'll call that a hit unless we hear differently for Emerson Milnerick. Need to ask her sometime why she's named Emerson. Were parents maybe fans of the poet Ralph Waldo Emerson, perhaps? There's an Emerson, Nebraska. Maybe it's a family name. I need to ask her that sometime.
Maybe. And just missed on the outside corner for Bailey Kinnison, I believe.
That is Kinnison, correct.
Yep. Catcher tonight.
Harley Kinnison.
Harley, sorry. Second pitch here, 1-0 count. Thrown in, a little high. 2-0 here.
Maybe fans of the old 70s band Emerson, Lake and Palmer, maybe perhaps too.
You're the only
or
one.
I would have maybe I'm way off. I might not be close.
Yeah.
With any of those.
Pitch 3 here, a little high again for a 3-0 count here, and.
In fact, there'd be a very good chance that I wouldn't be close on any of those, I think.
Yeah, I doubt anybody in the stands knows who that is. So, all right, here we go, 3-0 count. Pitch, called strike, right down the middle. Kinnison will step in here to a 3-1 count, and it's still 6-0 NEN in the bottom of the second with 1 out. Pitch, swung on and missed. So we got a full count here. Kinnison, I believe, is a sophomore.
She is, yes.
Yep.
Has a twin sister, although her sister did not play softball this year.
Gotcha. Steps in for the 3-2 count here. They get back right here. The pitch, swung on and fouled off. So battle here, see if she can win one.
Yeah, nice job by Kinnison to fight off a good 3-2 pitch from Dolliver.
Steps in for, I'd say, the 6th, 7th pitch at bat. Here we go, the pitch. Swung on and fouled towards the first base side. Another really good swing to battle off there, not the pitch she wanted.
Yeah, this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat for Kinnison.
Yeah, it's a good battle. Steps in for another pitch here. See what she can do.
That old Red Sox A's Moneyball theory.
Yeah.
Make the pitcher work, make him throw a lot of pitches.
Pitch, swung on, and looks like it's going to drop into the right center gap, and the play at second, safe. Emerson is safe into second.
Yeah, that's such a tough play there with the size of the field, as Milnerick had to hold to make sure it wasn't caught, but then you also have to get to second or it would be a force out.
That's the toughest one to try and decide there. We've had a couple of those before. And
yes, yeah, anybody that's played baseball or softball very long has been in a similar situation.
Yep.
The courtesy runner is Ramsey Hofer, a sophomore. She's a sophomore at St. Mary's, and she will be the courtesy runner for the catcher, Kinnison. So O'Neill held without a hit in the bottom of the first. They've now have back-to-back singles with 1 out in the second.
Up to bat now, number 12, Aubrey Blackburn, with runners on first and second, 1 out in the bottom of the second. As she steps in here, comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Nice looking swing there, just on top of it, it looked like. So we got an 0-1 count here. Steps in for another one here. Comes the pitch. Swung on. It looks like she was just a little bit under that one. So an 0-2 count now. Looks like she's going to have to battle.
And that's something that seems to plague young teams in particular, hitting well with runners in scoring position. That can be tough at any level.
Yes, yes it can. And swung on and missed for a 3-pitch strikeout there.
And the second strikeout of the game for Maya Dolliver.
And looks like we got the top of the order here, starting with Loretta Schofield. She steps in, I want to say a center fielder for O'Neill. See if she lays down a bunt here, maybe.
2 outs, so I think that changes.
2 outs. I didn't see that. So we got runners on first and second now with 2 outs with Loretta Schofield up. And looks like she took a first pitch strike. Here comes pitch. Just a bit outside there.
Although she does have the kind of speed to bunt for a base hit.
She's lefty. She could bunt it down the third base line and run one out there. I know last year she did that a lot.
Yeah, if she saw the third baseman playing back. Now, having said that, Dolliver's up even with a bag.
Yep. Swing on. Oh, just foul into the O'Neill dugout there. So we got a 1-2 count now with 2 outs. She gets a hold of one here. It could score one.
Yeah, Monerick would have the benefit of going on contact.
Yep. Just a bit outside there again. So we got a 2-2 count. It's a very big at bat here. If she can get a hold of one, that can bring in one and give the O'Neill Eagles a little momentum here. So here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Really good way to protect right there.
Has 6th pitch of this at bat upcoming.
Looks like they're really digging her deep into the count. They just need to capitalize a little bit now, and they'll be right where they want to be. Here comes the pitch. Looks up. So now we got a full count with 2 outs, and runners should be going here on the pitch.
Kruzmark in center and Vanderbrug in right, playing fairly shallow, actually.
Yep. And swung on and missed, and that'll retire the side for the Eagles, and after 2 innings, it's still 6-0.
That's our Pinnacle Bank score with no runs for the Eagles in the bottom of the second on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 2 runners left on base. O'Neill is stranded 4 through the first 2 at-bats. Once again, your Pinnacle Bank score at the end of inning number 2 is NEN 6, O'Neill 0. Back to Kearney Park after these messages.
At Connaught Tire Service, we are your local experts in O'Neill on everything from tires and brakes to tune-ups, electrical diagnostics, and most other repairs. We offer the best prices on high-quality parts, and we pride ourselves on excellent customer service. We offer a variety of top brands to suit every customer's needs and budget. The next time an automotive issue comes up, bring it to the experts at Connaught Tire Service.
Are internet speeds passing you by? Warp Networks Incorporated has a game plan for you. We provide high-speed wireless internet for both personal residences and businesses at competitive rates. Contact our team at 402-302-0436 or at JNS TV and Electronics at 402-336-3642. Warp Networks Incorporated, your locally owned wireless internet provider.
Is 0 for 1 in this game. Pitch is inside for ball 1. She popped up to the right side of play that Cahoy actually made the catch. It looked initially like maybe Druki would, who was playing second base at the time, but Cahoy took it. This one swung on and missed for strike 2.
Man, Riley Selby just looks like she's really settled in now after the first inning.
Yeah, she struck out the side back in the second and has 4 strikeouts on the game. Pitch Swung on, punch back up the middle. Blackburn has it to first to Emmy, and Dolliver gone 4-3 for out number 1. Good work there by Aubrey Blackburn to get over and get in front of that ball.
Yep, it's a very nice play.
Here's Maya Dolliver, the pitcher up there trying to help her own cause. She officially does not have an at-bat, but a couple of plate appearances. She's walked twice and has scored one. She fouls this one back out of play. So she's behind 0-1 with Allie Rutar, the catcher, waiting on deck. Again, glad to have you at KBRX O'Neill, 99.9 FM, 1350 AM, The Rock, on the internet at KBRX.com, and also on Eagle Eye Broadcasting, O'Neill High School's streaming site. This one is down low for a ball. And our O'Neill listeners and viewers know well that Eagle Eye also does the news program each day. I think that's underway, is it not? All right, very good. Emily Morrow saying yes, it is. Grant, are you one of the anchors for that?
No. I'm not.
This one's inside for ball 2. 2-1 to Maya Dolliver. Eagle Eye Broadcasting does not just bring you softball. You'll see home football games, home volleyball games, news coverage, school band concerts, speech. Basketball in the winter, wrestling. There's a line drive base hit. Homecoming next week as well, homecoming activities. Line drive base hit to left for Maya Dolliver. And here's Allie Rutar, the catcher. Rutar is 1 for 2 with a run scored, and she also has an RBI. And I'm guessing they ran for the pitcher. I missed that. We'll see. And off and running. No, it's Dolliver herself. As she's down to second base, I believe that pitch was called a ball. It was called a strike. I beg your pardon. Called a strike. So a runner on second and an 0-1 count on Rutar. Good young catcher is Allie Rutar. This one's down low. Be a wild pitch to third goes Dolliver. And that'll even it up at 1-1 on Rutar with Schulting waiting on deck. A runner at third and 1 out. We're in the top of the third. 6-0 Vipers have the lead over the Eagles. This one's fouled off. I think Eagle Eye Broadcasting, they even air the coronation ceremony at homecoming, I think. Is that right? Emily Morrow's not. And Eagle Olympics. A long-time O'Neill tradition. So 1-2 the count. The pitch. Swung on line drive, sharply hit into left center. This will score Dolliver easily. Gets by Schofield, and to second base goes Rutar. She really stung that. You could argue that's the hardest hit ball tonight.
Oh, for sure.
So Rutar a single, and then it goes to second on the error. And here's Schulting. And a runner at second for Rutar, and I think was that we saw Alexander, but it didn't look like number 1. I'll see if Grant can get a look at that. There is a courtesy runner at second base. Do know that. We'll try to catch a number for you there for the Vipers with Schulting standing in. A run across. So by my count, it's 7-0, even though the scoreboard here at Kearney Park says 6-0. But as I've oftentimes told people, scoreboard, it's just a courtesy. It's not official.
Yep.
Some would argue that my book is not official either. 1-0 the count on Schulting. There's 7. They now have it up there. 1-0 the count. Selby, the pitch. Swung on, bounced down the third base line, off the bag. Nice job by Cahoy. Well, for a moment, I thought she was going to keep it in the infield. That'll go as a hit. Wow, that was really hit sharply. And for a second, it looked like Brooklyn Cahoy might be able to smother the carom and keep it in the infield to hold the runner, but it got away from her. Certainly not an error, though, in that situation. And she was sharp, single for Schulting. Some alliteration. I certainly don't want to say that 3 times fast. She'll drive in the run, and she's over at first base with that single. And here is Wagner, or do we have a pinch hitter?
Nope, it's Wagner.
It is Wagner,
Just
okay.
getting a talk from Coach there.
Is Jason Dolliver down to talk? With Wagner. Pitch. inside for a ball. Selby cuts off the throw to second.
And I just received information that the O'Neill Eagle girls volleyball JV has won their match.
Okay, very good.
Against Elkhorn Valley.
As O'Neill volleyball, one of the last teams in the state to actually play a regular season game. A lot of teams either started Thursday, Friday, or Saturday of last week. Swung on, hit in the air to center and fairly deep, but Schofield drifts back and she makes the catch. Tagging at second is Schulting, and she'll go to third. So Wagner gave it a ride to deep center, but Schofield tracked it down for out number 2. And here's Taylor Vanderbrug, the right fielder. Eight nothing now. Actually, just 8-0 our score. Beg your pardon. As this is high for a ball on that Schulting single. Rutar able to score there to make it 8-0. Since then, a fly out by Wagner, but moving to third on the play was Schulting. This one's outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Vanderbrug with Ross waiting on deck. Runner at third and 2 outs. Selby's pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Selby with 4 strikeouts thus far on the night. Running into a tough Indian lineup. Told you at the outset that not to be fooled by that 3-5 record. They played a really tough schedule. This is going to be a single to right, a run scoring single for Vanderbrug. She'll get the RBI. Scoring Schulting. And here's Riley Ross, the first baseman, with Duncan waiting on deck. Selby with 2 outs and a runner at first here in the top of the third. The pitch just high for ball 1. 1-0 to Riley Ross, who has walked twice. She was stranded at third in the first and at second in the second. Slightly open stance for Ross. This one runs inside on her for ball 2. 2-0 to Ross. Duncan, who's 2 for 2, waits on deck. There are 2 outs here. 9-0 now. Annie N leads. The pitch. Swung on ground ball to short. Cahoy runs to the bag at second for the force. And Annie N gone in the third, but they add their lead. 3 runs on 3 hits. There was an error and 1 runner left on base. After 2.5 innings of play, your Pinnacle Bank score, it is Enian 9, O'Neill 0. Back with the bottom of the third after you listen to these messages.
Many lenders work in agriculture, but only one works for it. Mission-driven and owned by the producers we serve, we help customers manage risk, grow their success, and achieve goals. More than just another lender in agriculture, we strive to be its most valued. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Looks like we got Brooke Reed here stepping into the box, and here comes the pitch. It looks high. Yep, it is high for ball 1, and Brooke Reed is a senior at O'Neill, one of the older veterans on this team for sure.
She walked in her first plate appearance.
Okay. Here comes the second pitch of the at-bat. Swung on and just missed. It's a nice swing. It's a nice swing. And we got a 1-1 count here. And Brooke Reed with an open stance here. Comes the pitch. And low, hit the dirt. And 2-1 count now. All right, and 2-1 count. Pitch. Low for ball 3. And this is a hitter's count for Brooke Reed here.
And Dolliver has issued 2 free passes so far in this contest.
Okay. Brooke Reed steps in the box with a 3-1 count. Comes the pitch. Swung on, about a half swing there, fouled off into the fence on the first base sideline. So we got a full count here for Brooke Reed. Once again, it is 9-0 in the bottom of the third, and a full count with 0 outs here for Brooke Reed.
Cruz
batter this inning.
Cruz Mark in center and Vanderbrug in right, really playing shallow.
Yep. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and just missed. And that will be the first out recorded for the inning for the NEN Vipers.
Really have to credit Dolliver there, down 3-1 in the count and battled back to get the swinging strikeout.
That was a beautiful pitch on that 3-2 count. So here we got a junior, Brooklyn Cahoy, one of the older veterans on this team too, just not a senior yet. She stepped into the box.
3 strikeouts for Dolliver.
Comes pitch, swung on and just missed for Brooklyn. It's a 1 count here with 1 out.
Cahoy a sack bunt back in the first.
That bunt was really good. It just kind of got trapped in the dirt there. All right.
Yeah, she did her job moving the runners.
Comes the pitch, swung on and fouled off just over the first base fence.
Cahoy also a state qualifying pole vaulter last spring.
She was. She has really improved with that a lot.
Yeah, she was in that class the COVID year. She didn't get to be in track and field as a 7th grader.
And that third pitch fouled off by Brooklyn over the first base fence again. So we have an 0-2 count here.
And that really adds to the progress she's made in that event because she missed a whole year when it would have been her formative year when she'd have been really learning the event as a 7th grader. Didn't have a season that year.
For sure. 0-2 count here with 1 out for Brooklyn. Comes the pitch. Just inside in the dirt. Got a 1-2 count here now. I believe this is the 4th pitch of the at-bat.
5th upcoming.
5th. Excuse me. All right, here comes the pitch for Brooklyn. Swung on, grounded to second, and gets through into center field. So that'll be a base hit for Brooklyn. She'll stand on first with a beautiful hit up the middle there.
3rd hit for O'Neill tonight, and they've really all came basically in that same area there, in that little triangle between center, second base, and right field. That the first of the 3 that was on the ground.
And up to bat now is Autumn Emmy, one of the other veterans on this team. She is a senior, and she is the 4-hitter for her power here. Here comes the pitch. Just up in the zone for a ball. I know Autumn Emmy, she's had a couple home runs.
Yes.
I know last year, I don't know if she's had any this year, but she had a couple last year.
Yeah, and 2 years ago she had one as a sophomore as well.
Here comes pitch. Yep, swung on there.
Over the years, I'm trying to think of some of the names. Emily Haxton, I know, Ariel Lichty, Emma Smith, Autumn Emmy, some of those players who have hit home runs over the fence. Very difficult in softball to get an inside the park home run if you're playing on a regulation field.
And that pitch is up for a 2-1 count now with Brooklyn Cahoy still standing on first.
Sometimes you'll see once in a while see a fast pitch getting played on a field where the fences are 280 feet or 300 feet. You might see it.
And Autumn Emmy with a nice sharp hit down the third base line there. It'll get past the third baseman, and now we have Brooklyn Cahoy and Autumn Emmy standing on second and first with, it looks like to be Danny Rouse coming up to the plate, number 13.
Yeah, a couple of really good swings by the veterans for O'Neill, the 3-hitter Cahoy and the 4-hitter Emmy for sharp singles.
And we have one of the newer girls to the team here. I know she didn't start varsity last year, but she is this year. Danny Rouse steps in the plate here. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, fouled off, first base side. 0-1 count. 1 out here still for the O'Neill Eagles. Danny Rouse steps back in.
The designated player for O'Neill.
Here comes the pitch. Says she swung. Called that one a strike, so it's 0-2 count now.
That's always such a difficult call for an umpire, but definitely based a lot partly on intent, and
Yep.
we saw Rouse go around.
More of a close stance here for Danny Rouse, and here comes the pitch. And swung on and, caught by the first baseman and tagged Autumn Emmy out on first, and that was a nice catch by the first baseman and a good tag on first base.
Sort of what you call being a victim of circumstance there for Emmy.
Yeah, that was bad place, bad time.
Nice play by Ross, the first baseman for the Vipers. So for O'Neill, again, an inning that started with some promise, ends with nothing across. No runs on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 3 complete, your Pinnacle Bank score, it is NEN 9, O'Neill 0. Back to Kearney Park after these messages.
You are a dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
Are you ready to ignite your passion for the arts right here in North Central Nebraska? Look no further than the North Central Nebraska Arts Council. The NCNAC is dedicated to bringing the magic of fine arts to our communities, from exciting events to captivating performances. But we can't do it alone. Fine arts encourages an atmosphere of creativity, compassion, and diversity of talents. We invite you to join us and build a stronger community. Be sure to check out our social media for more information and news about us. Anyone can become a member of the North Central Nebraska Arts Council and contribute in our mission to share our passion for the fine arts. Your support can make a difference.
You can dance, you can drive, having the time of your life.
Yeah, good news there. It looks like Sydney Burkle has moved into right field for O'Neill. I think the rest of the defense has remained the same. Sydney Burkle, she is a St. Mary's student, and Burkle a senior this year, and that time just goes by. I have a hard time keeping track, and that's not going to get any easier. Here is, and also Duncan getting set. I thought maybe NEN was going to send up a pinch hitter, but it's going to be Duncan, the regular left fielder. She's 2 for 2, so you can understand why she's up there. First pitch swinging, ground ball to third. Druki gloves it across to first to Emmy in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. 5-3 on the put out for out number 1. And here's Anna Kruzmark. This may be a pinch hitter. Kruzmark wears 19. It looks like Audra Knapp.
Number 2.
Yep. So Audra Knapp to pinch hit for Kruzmark. Knapp, a left-handed batter. Pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Talked about O'Neill's school program being founded back in 2007. The first game the program played, I called the game with Mike Wiest. Ground ball to third. Again, nice play by Druki across to Emmy. And 3 pitches and 2 outs. 5-3 on the putout for out number 2. And here is Maddie Dolliver. And the first game O'Neill played in fall ball was in Wisner. At that time, it was Wisner-Pilger had a team, and O'Neill played against Battle Creek, Elkhorn Valley, but first game in Wisner that year. Back in the fall of 2007, or should I say the late summer. First pitch swinging, Dolliver swings and misses for strike 1.
Do you remember who won that game?
O'Neill did win that game.
You know the score?
I want to say about 8-2, but don't take that as gospel. O'Neill did have a state tournament team that year. They were 0-2 at state, but did not have many losses that year. They had a lot of summer players that were experienced. It wasn't like a new team. It wasn't like an expansion team or anything like that, like you might think. This one swung on, popped up out of play. 0-2 to Dolliver. The count holds.
Was St. Mary's a part of that squad with O'Neill? Or was it
yes,
just
that was a
O'Neill?
co-op, I think, from the start. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Good question there. 0-2. Well, boy, I'm thinking back now. Trying to remember all those players. And it may not. I think it was. Swung on, hit in the air to center. Schofield coming in, long run. She's there and makes the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning on defense for the Eagles in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits for the Vipers, no errors, and no runners left on base. After 3.5 innings of play, your score, it is NEN 9, O'Neill 0. Back to the bottom of the 4th after you listen to these messages.
O'Neill Public Schools is home to great opportunities for your kids. As an Apple Distinguished School, O'Neill Junior High School stays on the cutting edge of technology so your kids learn more in and out of the classroom. With our organization, Eagle Eye Broadcasting, students get real-world experience in the field of broadcasting with industry-standard equipment. This experience is seen through their live daily announcement shows and the annual homecoming lift up. And with plans to continue to add to and update our facilities, there's no better time to be an Eagle. O'Neill Public Schools. Dream, achieve, believe.
Welcome to another day in the middle of everywhere, where every second of sunshine, every dream, and every waking moment is everything we'll ever need. There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Base, Blackburn would bat, and Grace Drucke had that fine defensive top half of this inning with a couple of 5-3 putouts on ground balls.
We have a pinch hitter on deck, Cindy Burkle, for the
Oh,
Eagles.
that's correct. She came in. That's correct from there. Yep, thank you.
Yep.
And I'll turn it over to Grant DeSotko for the play-by-play.
Alrighty. Grace Drucke steps in the box here with an 0-0 count. Wide stance. Here comes the pitch. Called strike. Just painted to the outside corner there. Grace Drucke, a freshman at O'Neill, one of the younger girls on this team, as she steps into the box with an 0-1 count here. Comes the pitch. Just a bit high there. So we got a 1-1 count here.
O'Neill has stranded 5 runners through their first 3 at-bats.
Grace Drucke steps back into the box. Here comes the pitch. Low, 3-1 here.
But the only runner to advance as far as third for the Eagles was Loretta Schofield, who is the leadoff hitter
Looks like
in the lineup. She was stranded third back in the first.
2-1 count, actually, excuse me. And check, swing there, and no swing. So 3-1 count now for Grace Drucke. Steps into the box with a 3-1 count. Hitter's count here. Comes the pitch. Called strike. Nice pitch there. So full count here again. O'Neill really needs to capitalize on this one if they want to stay in it for another inning here.
Yeah, Dolliver came back from 3-1 to strike out Reed an inning ago.
Yep. And swing and a miss by Grace Drucke. And they will throw it over to first and get the out.
So a strikeout and a 2-3 put out for out number 1.
So 1 out here now in the bottom of the 4th. As Sydney Burkle steps into the box. She is a pinch hitter, I believe, for the Eagles, and she played first base last inning, or right field, excuse me. And here comes the pitch for Burkle. Swung on, grounded to third base, thrown over to first, and scooped up by the first baseman for the out.
Yeah, nice dig there. Dolliver to Ross to record that put out.
Yep, very nice play. So now up to bat Harley Kinnison, number 25, the catcher. I don't know what has she done tonight.
Kinnison is singled and was stranded at first back in the second.
Okay.
So 1 for 1.
Yep, 1 for 1. So she steps in the box here, 0-0 count. Pitch is outside for ball 1. 2 outs here now in the bottom of the 4th for the Eagles. As Kinnison steps back into the plate. Comes the pitch. Swung on, grounded to third, picked up by the third baseman, and she drops it, and Kinnison will be safe at first.
You know, that's a tough play. I suppose it'll be called an error,
Yeah,
but
I think it
that
will.
was not the. Yeah, I think it's a play Dolliver would probably tell you she should have made,
Yeah.
but certainly not the easiest of plays.
It's
That's
tough,
for sure.
yep.
Wasn't hit that hard, and she was moving toward the pitcher's circle.
Right in between third and short there, so it could have been either one's ball, but I think third base had the best shot at that one. So Aubrey Blackburn steps into the plate here for ball 1.
And the runner at first base is, I think it's Ella Hoffman, I believe. Well, I'll try to check.
Ellie Hoffman, number 7.
Yeah, Ellie Hoffman, I think
Yep.
is.
I can
Or is it number 7?
Oh,
Would
Ramsey
be Hofer. It'd
Yep,
be Hofer.
Ramsey Hofer.
It is.
Yep, so pinch runner Ramsey Hofer first with ball 2 there for Aubrey Blackburn.
Yeah, and in defense of Dolliver at third. I think if she had let that go to Schulting, it wasn't hit all that hard. Longer throw, the runner, Kinnison, probably would have beat that out.
Yep. So 2-0 count here for Blackburn. Here comes the pitch. Another ball low, so 3-0 count here. It's got to be right down the plate here if Blackburn's going to want to take a swing at one.
Yeah, I doubt they'll green light her.
Yeah,
She's
no.
the 9 hitter with and your team's down 9-0.
Try and get Loretta up to the plate here. Blackburn, 3-0 pitch. It's going to be called strike, so 3-1 count now with 2 outs.
Yeah, if she would have swung at that, I think I would have said she probably missed a sign, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So now I think she has the green light to swing on a 3-1 count here for Blackburn. Hofer stands at first. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. So another full count here for the pitcher. And correct me if I'm wrong, but are the Eagles down to their last out here with run rule?
You know, I did not check the softball run rule. In baseball, it would be the 8 after 4, correct? And I think that does apply here as well.
Yep. All right, so Eagles probably down to their last strike here, the pitch. Called strike 3. And that will get NEN Vipers out of the inning there.
So for O'Neill in that 4th, there were no runs on no hits. And it must be a 5. It must be 5 innings because O'Neill's taking the field.
O'Neill's taking the field.
So another chance, another at bat for O'Neill at least in this game. No runs, no hits. There was an error with 1 left on base. After 4, your Pinnacle Bank score it is NEN 9, O'Neill 0. Back with a 5th after you listen to these messages.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
O'Neill's Riley Selby. First pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0 to Maya Dolliver with Rutar and then Schulting. If somebody reaches base, Wagner would bat. And Dolliver has been on base all 3 times tonight, 1 for 1 with 2 runs scored. Just what you want out of a leadoff hitter. And down low takes it for ball 2. She is the pitcher of record for NEN as well. Schofield continues to play pretty deep in center and with good reason. She was taken back on a fly ball. Line drive, soft one to second and gloved with a basket catch by Blackburn. Dolliver gone with a soft liner to Aubrey Blackburn at second base. And there's 1 out. Here's Ali Rutar with Schulting waiting on deck.
Very nice catch there by Blackburn.
Yeah, some of those times, those ones right at you tend to be the toughest.
Yep, for sure.
Selby, the pitch. This is a called strike 1. 0-1 to Rutar. Schulting waits on deck, and then Wagner if somebody would reach base. Rutar, 2 for 3 on the night with 2 runs scored. She has a couple of hits. The pitch. Up high for ball 1. 1-1 to Rutar, right-handed batting catcher. NEN with 5 in the first, 1 in the second, and 3 in the third. This one's down low for ball 2. But Selby has now set down 6 in a row, so she's really settled down after a rocky start. Swung on, popped up on the right side and foul ground. Emmy gives chase, can't quite get there. That'll move our count to 2-2 on the 2 hitter in the order. Trying to think of the last game I called where the pitcher, the 1 position defensively, was also the 1 hitter, and the catcher, the 2 position defensively, was the 2 hitter in the order. That's the case tonight for NEN. This one's outside for ball 3. 3-2, the count to Ali Rutar.
Got to capitalize here. She's had a couple of 3-2 counts tonight. Selby has.
Yeah, especially at the back of that first inning.
Yep.
pitch. This one's inside. So wouldn't you know it, the radio janks, you talk about Selby retiring 6 in a row and then promptly issues the walk, but not after a good battle with Rutar, but only after a good battle, I should say, with Rutar. And here is Schulting, who's been busy. She's singled
looks like
and
a
scored.
substitution.
And, okay. Maybe
Number
the runner
one.
at first. Or is it Alexander at the plate? Okay.
Number 1, I don't.
Schulting, yeah, it is Alexander. Yep. Schulting was in the on-deck circle. I checked just a moment ago, but they called her back. Looks like maybe Rutar is going to run for herself at first base, the catcher. And so this 3 spot's been really productive for the Vipers tonight. Schulting walked twice and scored, and singled and scored. And the top 5 positions in the order have scored all the runs so far for the Vipers, and they lead at 9-0 in the 5th. So Danica Alexander, a senior, we saw her as a courtesy runner earlier in this contest.
Looks like the wind has completely died here.
And I'll see if I can get a temperature. Pretty comfortable night, especially when you consider what we might be heading for here in the next few days, especially over the weekend.
Yep.
Here's Alexander. Takes it down low for a ball. 1-0 to Danica Alexander. Pinch hit opportunity for her. Right-hander with an even stance. Might even say a slightly closed stance. Swung on and missed for strike 1. It evens up 1-1 on Alexander. With Wagner waiting on deck. We'll check that. It looks like that is her in the on-deck circle. There's strike 2. Good fastball from Selby on the outer half. And it's 1-2. A runner at first and 1 out. We're in the top half of inning number 5. Selby swung on and missed, strike 3. So Selby records another strikeout, and there are 2 outs for Avery Wagner. For Selby, I have that as her 5th strikeout on the night. Sophomore pitcher, she missed the season opener against St. Paul with the flu. She'd expected to be the starter, but that pressed Grace Druki into action. This one is a wild pitch back to the screen. Down to second goes Rutar. And it's 1-0 on Avery Wagner. Wagner is 1 for 3 tonight, a double back in the first. Swung on, punched into left center field. Runner around third and heading plateward is Rutar, and into second with her second double of the night. That was actually a courtesy runner, Anna Jacobs, who scored on that play. So my apologies to Anna there. Didn't see her check in. But another extra base hit for Wagner. And she's driven in some runs tonight for this NEN team. She's at second for Vanderbroek, it looks like. I think she's still there. The enemy of the play-by-play announcer is the long ponytail because it covers up the numbers.
Yeah.
But we can see enough of that 8 on Vanderbroek's jersey to tell you that the starting right fielder is still in the game for the Vipers.
Looks like the volleyball score in the second set is Elkhorn Valley 17 and O'Neill 14.
That game, of course, over on 102.9 FM with Tyler Holcomb from Tilden, Nebraska. That run, by the way, makes it 10-0, so run will certainly in effect now. This one swung on, hit in the air to right. Burkle coming on. She's there, and she makes the catch for out number 3. The Vipers add to their lead with a run on 1 hit. That run-scoring double by Wagner. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. After 4.5 innings of play, your score, it is NEN 10, O'Neill 0. Back at the bottom of the 5th after you listen to these messages.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
Schofield, Reed, and Cahoy. If somebody would reach base, Emmy would bat, and I'll turn it over to Grant DeSotko with a play-by-play.
All right, here we go. Loretta Schofield steps into the box for an 0-0 count pitch. And shows bunt, but pulls back, and that's called a strike. Eagles hoping they can get something going here with the top of the order.
Schofield 0 for 1 tonight with a walk, stranded at third, back in the first, and that's as far as any O'Neill runner has advanced thus far.
Second pitch, a little high, ball 1.
Kruzmark in center field, now in left field. Duncan playing fairly shallow also.
Fouled off, third base side for Schofield, so we got a 1-2 count now.
And Vanderbrug in right, maybe a step or two deeper, but all the outfield definitely shallow for the Vipers.
Is there a new second baseman for NEN?
And I will check. Those are, of course, not reported to us in the booth.
Schofield steps into the box with a 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch. Called outside corner, strike 3. Just barely painted the corner there, and ump gave her that one. It's a very beautiful pitch. So Brooke Reed now steps into the box, senior for O'Neill.
Avery Wagner is still playing second base for NEN.
Brooke steps into the box with an open stance. Here comes the pitch. Ball low, so 1-0 count here.
Reed actually walked in the first and then struck out in the third. She was ahead 3-1 in that count in the third, and then Dolliver battled back against her.
Yep. All right, here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled to the first base side. Good pitch to foul off there, not the one she wanted. And
Chuck Price wants to talk with Brooke Reed. Not sure if maybe, perhaps, O'Neill in need of base runners, if he was telling her to maybe take a strike before she swung. I'm not sure she was ahead 1-0 in the count when she did swing and foul that one off.
Yep. Just take the pitch you want and hopefully get a hold of it. So Brooke Reed steps in with a 1-1 count here. Comes the pitch. Ball high, way to lay off that one.
Nice job there with the catcher framing that. It almost looked like that drop down late, and sometimes a catcher, and Rutar has done such a nice job. She, I think, almost got that call to strike.
2-1 count here. Here comes the pitch. Ball inside there. Another great take by Brooke Reed.
Yeah, that's a tough one to lay off there, and near miss there. But a tough pitch to do much with either. Was
for sure.
Inside. Did not look like it missed by much.
No, it did not. So we got a 3-1 hitters count here for Brooke Reed. Here comes the pitch. Called strike. Got that one called for. Looks like it dropped in there. So another full count here for Brooke Reed. With one down here in the bottom of the 5th. Open stance.
Kruzmark has backed off a little in center.
Called strike 3 on Brooke Reed. So that'll be 2 outs in the inning now for Brooklyn Cahoy to show up to the plate.
Straight strikeouts for Dolliver and 7 for the game.
It's a great job by Dolliver. I mean, top of the order, it's the toughest to face, and she's just handled it so far pretty well.
And I stand corrected, she has 8 strikeouts.
8 strikeouts. There you go. Brooklyn Cahoy steps in, 0-0 count. Here comes the pitch. Holds back swing there, beautiful layoff. That one dropped in just high.
Cahoy 1 for 1 with a sac bunt.
Open stance here. Here comes the pitch for Brooklyn. Just about outside there for ball 2. So 2 balls, 0 strikes, and 2 outs here for the O'Neill Eagles. Brooklyn steps in hoping to light a spark for the O'Neill Eagles. Pitch swung on, strike 1, 2-1 count. Dolliver's just been really good on the mound tonight. She's been hitting her spots.
Yeah, limited O'Neill to just 4 hits.
Yep.
All singles.
Yep. Comes Brooklyn in the box. Swung, bounced off shortstop's chest, and she is going to be safe at first.
Now I thought it went off the pitcher's glove first.
I think it went off the pitcher's glove and then bounced off the shortstop's chest.
I'm going to give, again, I think that Schulting would probably tell you it's a play she should make, or that may be a new shortstop. No, it's Schulting back in there. that you should make, but you know, it's off the pitcher's glove. That's going to change the angle of it.
Yeah.
So we'll credit Cahoy with an infield single there. It was hit sharply.
Autumn steps in. Pitch, called strike. Autumn the 4-hitter for O'Neill, the senior.
But for just a moment there, I was getting ready to write down 1-6-3 putout in my scorebook.
Yeah. All right, 0-1. Here comes the pitch. Swung on to third base side, thrown over to first, and that will record the third out for the inning.
For O'Neill in the bottom of the fifth, no runs, 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. That's the ball game. Your Pinnacle Bank final score. It is NEN 10 and O'Neill 0. Back to wrap it up with the Rink post game after you listen to these messages.
Are internet speeds passing you by? Warp Networks Incorporated has a game plan for you. We provide high-speed wireless internet for both personal residences and businesses at competitive rates. Contact our team at 402-302-0436 or at JNS TV and Electronics at 402-336-3642. Warp Networks Incorporated, your locally owned wireless internet provider.
Home is where a new sunrise says, I don't want to wake up anywhere else.
I woke up in the middle of the night, opened my eyes, said my oh my, I'm dreaming you. Well, all my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
Consider independent living with access to a theater, game room, walking path inside and out, plus neighbors to enjoy visiting and dining with. The Evergreen Assisted and Independent Living Facility in O'Neill, Nebraska is a beautiful home to enjoy.
Kearney Park, where the NEN Vipers have just upped their record to 4-5 with a 10-0 run rule game victory over the O'Neill Eagles, who dropped to 1-7 on the year. Totals first for NEN, 10 runs on 8 hits. They committed 1 error and left 7 runners on base. For the Eagles, no runs on 4 hits. They committed an error and left 7 runners on base. Maya Dolliver, your winning pitcher, she struck out 8, and Riley Selby, who pitched pretty well in the middle of this game, suffers the loss. And it was a case where NEN really got off to a good start. They had good discipline at the plate, combination of hits and walks as their first 5 hitters of the ball game. Grant DeSacco scored, and that staked them to an early lead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just the early hits there, and they win the 3-2 counts. That could have gone either way, and a couple things went their way, and they found themselves up 5-0 in the first inning. That's just hard to recover from sometimes.
Yeah, as the Vipers scored 5 runs in the first, they got 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and 1 in the fifth. Yeah, I think you go along with that, and that Dolliver's ability to pitch well with runners on base. Those 2 things really key for this NEN victory. And for the young Eagles, certainly disappointed with the loss, but definitely some bright spots to build on. It's certainly, I know Chuck Price and his coaching staff know, losing 8 seniors off last year's team, it's going to be a process and so forth, and they'll look to build on some of the good things they did, especially in the middle of this ball game defensively, and O'Neill actually had runners on base in every inning, but could not advance anyone past third base. You're listening to the Rink postgame. Still a couple of items to take care of yet tonight, and that is our Stadium Sports Top Dog Athlete of the Week nominee and our H&R Block Impact Play of the game. We'll have those for you after you listen to these messages.
Are internet speeds passing you by? Warp Networks Incorporated has a game plan for you. We provide high-speed wireless internet for both personal residences and businesses at competitive rates. Contact our team at 402-302-0436 or at JNS TV and Electronics at 402-336-3642. Warp Networks Incorporated, your locally owned wireless internet provider.
At Connaught Tire Service, we are your local experts in O'Neill on everything from tires and brakes to tune-ups, electrical diagnostics, and most other repairs. We offer the best prices on high-quality parts, and we pride ourselves on excellent customer service. We offer a variety of top brands to suit every customer's needs and budget. The next time an automotive issue comes up, bring it to the experts at Connaught Tire Service.
Top Dog Athlete of the Week nominees and also our H&R Block Impact Play of the game. Now for Eagle Eye Broadcasting, the Eagle Eye Broadcasting always names an MVP or a player of the game for the visiting team and for the home team. Of course, with KBRX, with the NEN team being outside of our coverage area, we usually don't name one. But for the Eagle Eye side of things, a lot of different ways we could go here for this NEN Vipers team. Rutar in the 2 spot scored 3 times, had a couple hits. They got 3 runs out of the 3 spot as well. But Maya Dolliver, she did it on both ends. 8 strikeouts, pitched well with runners on base, and she also scored 2 runs for this NEN Viper team. So we'll go with Maya Dolliver. Grant, are you good with that?
Oh yeah, I'm great with that.
Yeah, I was really impressed with her poise, especially that there were a couple of times during the game. I go back to the bottom of the first. NEN got 5 in the top half. Dolliver actually walked the first 2 hitters of the game, and it looked like O'Neill might have a chance to get right back in it, but she settled down, recorded out on a sacrifice bunt, got a strikeout, and then a 6-3 put out, and she was really in control for a lot of the way after that time. Did allow a couple base runners with 1 out in the second, but then got back-to-back strikeouts to our point. So Maya Dolliver will be our MVP or player of the game for Eagle Eye Broadcasting on the NEN side of things. Now for O'Neill, not quite as many bright spots, obviously, with being shut out 10-0, but how about the play of Brooklyn Cahoy? Played a really good shortstop for O'Neill, just a really steady player, and she was 2 for 3 at the plate and had a sacrifice bunt as well. So Brooklyn Cahoy will be our Stadium Sports Top Dog Athlete of the Week nominee. Of course, if you're out and about in a high school sporting event from the KBX area, you can give us a nominee for Stadium Sports Top Dog Athlete of the Week. Please give us a little bit of details about their name, their grade, some of the stats, and you can email that to sports@kbrx.com. And one boy and one girl winner from our area will be named each Wednesday night from the Dog Pound Sports Show, or should I say most Wednesday nights. I think we have Husker Volleyball tomorrow night from Memorial Stadium. And then our H&R Block Impact Player of the game, Grant DeSacco. I really liked what Riley Selby did there in the middle innings. Kind of a rocky start for the young sophomore, a right-hander in her first year of varsity softball, but she was able to, starting with getting the 3rd out in the top of the 3rd inning, she then got the Vipers in order in the 4th and got the first out on a ground out in the 5th. So in the middle of the game there, she actually retired 6 in a row.
Yep, she settled down after the first inning and just progressively got better every single inning and just settled down and threw strikes, and that's all you need to do sometimes.
As Riley Selby finished with 5 strikeouts. So again, H&R Block Impact Player for O'Neill will be Riley Selby. That's about going to do it here. Grant DeSacco, thanks for sitting in. Maybe we'll have a chance to do this again with Eagle Eye and KBRX.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Once again, your Pinnacle Bank final score, it was NEN 10 and O'Neill 0. NEN, good luck to the folks there in Wisner-Pilger and Pender and around that area with the rest of the season. There's got to see some folks there that I've come to know over the years, more so through baseball and so forth. So good to talk to some people there. And good luck to the Vipers as they'll be in action on Thursday with a triangular Cumming County and Tacoma-Herman. The other teams there for the O'Neill Eagles, they'll be at Pierce on Thursday. Be sure to say thanks to all the fine sponsors making this one possible, members of the KBRX Sportscasters Club, for Emily Morrow of Eagle Eye Broadcasting, for Grant DeSatko, for our studio engineer Brandon Pruden. I'm Gary Hostert. So long from Kearney Park.